Hello again, this is the Craps Coach, and welcome to my YouTube channel. It's been a while since I've made a video, so I'm going to make a quick one today. But before I get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Subscribe, you'll know when we put out our latest content, and if you like what you're seeing, make sure you give it a like. And if you have anything to say, please leave a comment. I love hearing from you. So this video is going to be about dice. It really I got the idea from the fact that somebody commented about the dice that I sell. So it made me think that something as basic as the dice that are used in craps, there are a lot of rules that go with them, and to talk a little bit about the casino dice. So what I got in front of you is a sleeve of 5 dice that typically the casinos use. Incidentally, I do sell them on the website, but this is more just about informational. So when we're talking about dice, we're talking about dice that are made very to exact specifications. So my dice are actually produced by a company that produces casino dice for the Vegas casinos. So it is they're legit dice, and I'm going to talk a little bit about them. So when you get a sleeve of dice, they're going to come in a gold, typically gold foil, and they're going to have this number here, right here on it, 331, and I'm going to show you inside. That's the serial number of the dice. So each sleeve has 5, and so when you recognize in the game, usually the casino pushes 5 dice towards you, and you select 2 to start the play. And the reason they got serial numbers is so they can track, that you are in fact, the dice all came from the same sleeve, like the same lot. So you can see here, I'll go ahead and open it up. And these are green. I have these in the green color, and essentially it's kind of what is referred to as a lap finish, because it's kind of a frosted. So on the ace here, I've got my logo, the Craps Coach, and then typically on the 6, you have the serial number of the 331, and that matches the serial number on the sleeve of dice that came. So therefore, you can kind of track, how long you've been using those dice if you make a reference as to when you put these dice in play at your own table, and that's how a casino will know, it's kind of time to change out the dice. I'm not quite sure when the casino decides to change out the dice, but I do know within a typical day, they will go through typically probably multiple sleeves of dice. So let me first talk about the size. So these dice, and I don't have anything to measure to show you, are 0.775. This is different than 0.750, which is 3/4 of an inch. I've heard some casinos sell dice, or some stores sell dice in millimeters, 19 millimeters. That's going to be slightly smaller than this. I want to say millimeters is kind of, well, it is the metric system. So I think those dice that are referenced in millimeters are probably at foreign casinos. Usually what I found here in the US, whether it's in my state of Colorado, this is typically the size of dice that the casinos use. I verified that when I talked to the manufacturer of these dice to understand, what sort of dice I should purchase with my logo on it or the name on it. And that's what they told me. But a casino can choose from 0.750 or 0.775 size dice. It's really up to them what they want to do. So there is a difference of it. And how do I know this? Well, I had to go digging into the gaming laws in Colorado. And I'll probably just put that up on as a graphic here on this video. And the laws will talk a lot about what the dice should be. It's formed in a perfect cube, and on a side no smaller than 0.750 or 3/4 of an inch, and not any larger than 0.775 on an inch on any size. Okay, so perfectly cubed, meaning all the sides are perfect and flat, and all the pips, i.e. the dots are referred to as pips, are flush with the side of the dice. It'd be transparent and made exclusively of cellulose except for the spots, names, or trade name at the casino or the serial number. So you can see this one is kind of a lap finish. I just kind of like that. There can be dice that are essentially clear or appear transparent. And the surface of each side is perfectly flat, and the spots contained on the side perfectly flush with the area surrounding them. So if you ever noticed when a dice goes off the table and the shooter immediately says, same dice, that the dice will be given to the pit box, and he'll kind of look them over really quick before he gives them back to the player shooting the dice. So essentially, they have to be equally weighted. So, i.e., one side is not heavier than the other, so that certain numbers will tend to show up greater than some other number. I mean, that's essentially what weighted dice are, which are illegal. But weighted dice are typically on the bottom, and they're going to kind of like through gravity, kind of make one number be on the bottom, and since you're trying to get whatever number you want on the top. So the weight has to be equally distributed throughout the cube, and no side of the cube heavier or lighter than the other side. So this is, again, these are precision manufactured. These aren't just run-of-the-mill dice you can find at Target or Walmart or something like that. And on its 6 sides, the white circular spots from 1 to 6 respectively, with the diameter of each spot equal to the diameter of every other spot, i.e. all the spots are the same. If you've never understood this about dice, so on each, if you look on one side, 1, if you look on this opposite side, it's 6, so that equals 7. So 2's on this side, and we know 5 is on that side, and then 4 is on this side, we know 3 is on that side, so it's always equal to 7. I've seen fake dice or kind of novelty dice not that way. I've seen pictures of dice where you can look at it and go, yeah, the artist didn't know what they were doing, because on any die, die singular, a dice plural, on any die, 1 should be on this side, 6 should be on the other. So that's kind of how they're constructed. So novelty dice games, that where we have rather larger dice may not actually kind of conform to these pips always equaling 7 on opposite sides. Interesting thing. So that's a little bit about the dice. So like if you play Yahtzee or something, you'll notice those dice are kind of rounded. Some of the other games in the casino, like Pogo, poker, they might use dice that kind of have more rounded edges. And again, the specific laws of a state that governs the gaming industry will have specifics on those dice. But when it comes to casino dice, we have these precision dice of a specific size and essentially a perfect cube, equally weighted, with all the pips, and one side being no heavier than another side as far as that goes. So again, this is kind of the basics of it. Remember, in craps, when you're coming out, the dealer or stickman will push all 6 towards you. You're to grab 2, and he'll kind of take the other 3 away, and you'll kind of start the game as far as that go. But that, in a sense, is kind of a quick, tutorial about dice. That it's just not any dice. And again, some big no-nos is never bring your own dice to the casino. So if you have dice, I would just not even bring them. And the other thing is when shooting, right? When you're the shooter, you can only handle the dice with one hand. Most casinos don't really care if you set it or anything like that. One of the other things is, you can't take the dice out of sight, i.e. the stickman's job is to monitor the dice while they're in the shooter's hand, so nothing kind of hinky is going on. And again, you don't really take the dice out of sight during the tape while you're shooting. And the third rule of shooting the dice is essentially it's mandatory that you hit the back wall. If you end up being short, sometimes they'll probably just give you a quick warning. Hey, sir, please, sir or ma'am, please make sure you hit the back wall as far as that goes. So again, that's a little bit about the dice, why the numbers on it, the casino's logo, what color, the size, all that. So if you're into controlled shooting, if you go at a certain casino and the dice feel one way in their hand and then you go to another casino and they feel a little differently, it might be because of the size variant in the dice. Most places I've looked at, and so I know about the laws in Colorado, and I know a lot about the laws, I guess, over that govern Atlantic City. And that's how I know that here, mostly in the US, that dice can be of one of two sizes, so they give the casino an opportunity to pick what size that they want. So anyhow, really quick video about that. Again, I appreciate you joining in today. I'll probably categorize this under Craps Basics. As always, if there's some sort of content you want me to kind of explore, please leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.